Tory's appeal was just denied, and I told y'all this was going to happen. We got to get into these updates. As always, I'm an attorney, but I'm not yours. I've been keeping up so you don't have to. Let me hit you with the highlights. The appeals court in this case took 46 pages to tell Tory and his team, you're going to finish that 10-year sentence. I'm going to back it up because in order to understand what the appeal judges were saying, you need to understand the appeal in the first place. And you're literally just arguing that the lower court made an error. You're not presenting new testimony, new arguments, new evidence. You're just saying they were wrong. Here is why. And then you cite to some persuasive governing authority, case law, statute, whatever the case. A lot of Tory's appeal was about evidence used at trial, evidence presented to the jury. But the problem was he didn't have no receipts, and the judges called him out for this. Let me show you. Peterson's failure to support any of these assertions with citations to the record is extremely telling. They're damn near saying you didn't come with receipts. That's literally all they're saying. So yeah, like I said, he's going to finish that sentence, and after that, he will be in deportation proceedings. So.
Well, it looks like Tory Lanez is going to have to do the remainder of his 10-year sentence. We all seen last year where he was getting poked up in jail, man, by that Mexican. He was on the ground screaming help, trying to get up off the tier when they jumped on him. We know that he's been proclaiming his innocence for some time now. We saw the video. They was basically saying that her girlfriend, her friend, whom it was supposed to be her best friend, and she went behind her back and was sleeping with Tory Lanez. And when they found out about it, all hell broke loose in that limousine on that night after the party in California, where she's alleging that he pow-powed her in the foot, right? Now, they were saying that the driver and the bodyguard or whatever of the car, he disappeared, but now they found him and he was set to testify. They showed video of Megan Thee Stallion saying things that was conflicting with the statements that she had already made. There was a lot of things. He even had a legislator in Florida speaking on his behalf. And we thought that there would be some changes and at some point he would be able to come home. So it says Lanez and his supporters have long maintained his innocence, claiming that there was insufficient proof that he was the shooter and that he received an unfair trial. But in the ruling, the appeals court said there was no reason to undo the verdict. Peterson contends that the trial court committed a number of errors. The appeals court wrote, "We find no presidential error and accordingly affirmed Peterson's conviction." A spokeswoman for Lanez did not immediately return a request for comment on the ruling. The ruling came more than 5 years after the July 12, 2020 pow-powing, which happened as the driver was shuttling Lanez, Megan, and her assistant friend Kelsey Harris from a party at Kylie Jenner's house. According to prosecutors, when Megan got out of the vehicle and began to walk away, right? So it gets according to prosecutors, when Megan got out the vehicle and began to walk away, Lanez shouted dance B and fire and pow at her feet, striking her once. Following the incident, Megan initially told police officers that she had cut her foot stepping on broken glass, but days later that she had been pow-powed. Lanez was eventually charged in the shooting in 2022, right? So it gets real goofy, right? Now he's been fighting ever since, trying to get out, trying to basically claim his innocence, right? So then it goes on to say, in any event, the record does not support Peterson's contention that Exhibit 18 injected racial bias into the proceedings. The prosecution did not offer the photograph as evidence of any alleged gang affiliation. There was no allegations in this case, or no one ever suggested that Peterson had any gang ties. The prosecution offered Exhibit 18, Exhibit 19, and 20, and the court admitted them into evidence solely to show the identity of the individual officer's swab for gunshot residue at the police stations. The record does not reflect whether Peterson was wearing a shirt when the police stopped his vehicle. Pete testified that they emerged from the swimming pool. She was wearing a bikini, and Harris was in a swimsuit too. Pete's stylist Eric Kuberson. Let's go. Hold on. This thing is real crazy. Peterson asserts the jury did not hear Peterson's accounts regarding the night in question because the court ruled that if he testified, prosecutors could induce his music video and rap lyrics during cross-examination. Peterson mischaracterizes the record. Midway through the defense case, the prosecutor told the court he was asking to inquire about prior acts of violence if Peterson testified to rebut the character evidence put on by the defense. The court replied, well, I think the state of evidence as it is, now, I would not allow that. Of course, I don't know what he would say if he testified. It may become relevant depending on what he were to say. But at this point, I exclude that. So he was already done. DNA testing on the Luger revealed a profile of at least 4 people. Peterson could not be excluded or included. His contribution was inconclusive. DNA testing on the magazine also revealed a profile of at least 4 people. Peterson was not one of them, but he's still in jail though. No usable fingerprints were found on the firearm or magazine. In response to the prosecutor's questions at trial, Pete testified she was having a really difficult time sitting up there and trying to comfortably tell her story, apparently referring to spectators in the courtroom. Pete said a group of people had been continuously spreading misinformation to make her look like a bad person. Now, this is the thing. They didn't have any video evidence of him doing this. They had video evidence of her saying that she stepped on glass, right? As opposed to what she said in court. They also didn't have his fingerprints on the firearm or the magazine was also inconclusive. But yet and still, the judge said, well, we can't reverse anything. You're going to have to do the remainder of your sentence. I don't know. This is like weird to me. So now in the court of public perception, you have all the women saying that he's guilty. You have a whole bunch of men saying that he's not. But this is what people are saying.
They affirm his conviction and they're refusing to let him out. He's going to have to serve his full 10 years. And after that, I assume he'll be deported because he's not American.
I don't think anybody owes Megan an apology for what? Just because the sentence went through, that means, how does that change the dynamic of the case?
No, people feel like they thought it was a lie and this and that. So him appealing and the whole thing online he was paying bloggers and to try to spin the narrative in his favor and it didn't work. So now they're saying, does the public, the people that, doubted her or whatever, or spoke ill about her during the case, do they owe her an apology? I don't think anybody will go back on it. Most people hate women in general.
Okay, Tim, knowing me, what do you think of my initial reaction when this happened? If you had to guess, whose side you think I was on, if you had to guess?
I would want to say the girl, but I think...
I was on the girl's side.
Yeah.
And then I felt really stupid within a matter of weeks.
Why, though?
Because, all the evidence that was coming out kind of showed that she was capable.
I think the woman that's on this podcast that's talking is very immature when she made the statement that most men hate women. And nobody really checked her on that. If that's the case, I think that a lot of women hate other women. I think that a lot of men hate other men. I just think that you have groups of people that love each other, that want to work with each other, and you got groups of people that's just haters. It's not most men hate women. So she's already playing that gender role because if a lot of men think that she was lying and it didn't happen, that don't mean that they hate women. But this is a lot of immature people that's online and spread a lot of rhetoric and it's not corrected. Because if that's the case, you got a lot of men that hate on each other all day. So do most men hate other men? Because it's men that unalive each other all the time, right? I just think that we're immature. I think that the evidence wasn't sufficient enough to prove that he did something to substantiate him doing 10 years. Right? You didn't have any type of DNA evidence. You didn't have any type of video. You got her on video saying that she cut her foot. You got you gave the girlfriend immunity. It was just like a lot. The deck was already stacked. He was already just guilty. And everybody just ran with that. But I think that we got to get to a point where we have mature conversations, whether we disagree or agree. I told you I'm not pro-black woman or pro-black man. I'm pro-black community. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. Now, I'm just saying, based off the evidence, I don't think that the evidence was sufficient enough to give him 10 years. But let's listen to some more.
Why she got immunity?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But everybody, that's a lot of people's take is that the friend did it. But if that's the case, why the poor person, the person with the least money, is getting to walk away clean? If I was Tory Lanez, I would be doing everything in my power to get this bitch in jail.
She got immunity.
You had to aim at somebody else.
And you got to think about You know,
No, it's not. She's not. The friend is not.
Oh, the
Not
friend.
a friend.
That's what I'm saying. The friend
But
ain't
but
nobody.
Once you sign immunity, once you get immunity, it doesn't matter. They can't convict her.
The thing about Tory too, I think Tory's trying to uphold his gangster image, so he don't want to come out looking like a rat.
I don't know if Tory ever had a gangster image. Y'all seen him fight?
I mean, you
Travis
didn't see him
Scott?
trying to get
He
down
could
with
tell
Travis
his
Scott.
attorney-
Yeah, like
he could
Travis
tell his
Scott.
attorney this did it, and you can form a case to it. But
But then think about this too, though.
I don't think
I
so over a
personally
girl.
don't think that he shot. I think that old girl had the gun in her hand, and he probably ran up and was trying to stop it, and then the gun went off.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
Whatever the
That's
case.
what I think happened. I think she got mad and was like, "Oh, well, I'll shoot you!" Woo, woo, woo. And he's like, "Hold on!" Ran up on her, tried to grab the gun, and the gun went off. That's what I personally think.
And they
happened.
never said Tory Lanez's fingerprints was on the gun.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
killed me,
why.
like,
Yeah.
How you shoot somebody with your fingerprint?
And if she got her hands on the gun and he got her hands on her hands, there will be no fingerprint.
Listen, if
As soon as they said
I was
that
going hard
said
for
dance
Megan.
bitch and shot at the ground, I stopped believing.
That hell yeah, I didn't
Stop
believe that,
believing.
bro.
What the fuck is this? Nigga, super bad? Like, what is this? A
these are all
1970
people that are
movie?
drunk and on drugs, though.
I don't
and
believe
she
it.
walked away a week later doing a
That bitch
show.
was twerking.
So-
a week later.
But they
Facts.
posted like surgery on her foot and stuff like that.
And we
Surgery
also
takes a
know
minute
that
to
she
recover
gets
from,
super
though.
drunk. Like that's what it came out.
I'm not discounting
Yeah,
that
that was-
everybody was drunk. I would say
Yeah.
everybody was drunk. Everybody was probably high as well.
And it
And
sounded like she
things
got
occurred.
mad at him.
I've seen wounds from a bullet in feet, and it didn't look like her.
No, they said she didn't. I don't think anybody ever claimed that she was shot directly through the foot, like Jesus Hole. It was that he shot at the ground or whatever happened, and the bullets, like the shrapnel and all that, got into her foot. And on the surgery video, it was like the side of her foot type. It didn't. She didn't have, like we're saying, crucifix.
So I'll say this: Tory won't have to keep appealing, right? Maybe to a higher court. He won't have to figure it out because right now, man, listen, they got him. For me, I don't know whether he's innocent or guilty. If he actually did that, he deserved to be in jail. I don't know if it's 10 years, but I know for a fact that he deserves to be in jail if he actually did everything that they said that he did. But if he didn't do it, I don't know why you would give the woman Kelsey immunity in the first place when she was in the car and it was alleged that she was having a fight with Megan Thee Stallion, right? I agree where they said that he tried to play like the gangster card and not be a snitch. So some things he should have said he didn't say. I agree with that part too, but I think it's going to have to come out. If he knows something that he didn't tell, and he want to get out of jail because he's serving 10 years on a sentence he didn't do, he's going to have to come out and say something, right? But for me, if you didn't have, if you claiming that he powed her, but his DNA is not on that gun or the magazine, that's a problem. And when you check, you swabbed his hands and checked his hands for gun residue, and it wasn't there, he shouldn't be in jail. That's my contention. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this, man. What's your opinion? If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, and let's look at the facts of the case, not just because it's a woman, so I'm agree with women. If it's a man, I'm agree with the man. If you really love black people, then you would do your research to research the facts of the case. Read the case and what was presented in court and the DNA evidence and all of that. Read everything. That's where I come. I don't care if it's a black man, black. I'm looking at what's right and wrong. If you get out of the gender bullshit stuff, if you really love black people, black women, you love your sons, your brother, your dad, then don't be anti-man. Black man, you love your mother, your sisters, don't be anti-woman. Look at this from an objective position of loving black people and you want justice. Not just how you feel. That's all I'm saying. So let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.